Birdieupon released a video 1 week ago that purports to show that Professor Dawkins lied about Dr. William Craig. Upon closer analysis, the video only succeeds in showing that Birdieupon slandered Professor Dawkins and that Birdieupon was dishonest. The first thing that shows Birdieupon slandered Professor Dawkins is that Birdieupon says Professor Dawkins lied about William Lane Craig. When people say you lied about them, that logically means you lied about them personally. For instance, if I know that Jerry Seinfeld is Caucasian and I said he was Asian, that would be a lie about Jerry Seinfeld. If someone lied or said something dishonest about Alvin Plantinga's free will defense, that is not a lie about Alvin Plantinga, but a lie about his argument. In the video, Birdieupon never showed Professor Dawkins saying anything personal about Dr. Craig, so Birdieupons title is dishonest and sensationalistic slander against Professor Dawkins. The second blunder Birdieupon commits in his video is that he puts up a screen after a Richard Dawkins speech asking what else did he miss. But remember, the title of Birdieupons video was not Richard Dawkins missed what William Lane Craig said, but that Richard Dawkins lies about William Lane Craig. That's just a foolish blunder on Birdieupons part. You can't say in your title that someone lied, yet turn around and in that very same video say they missed something. A person missing something does not make them a liar or mean they lied, but that they simply missed it. Birdieupon, in putting up the screen saying what else did he miss, blundered into contradicting his slander. The second point that Birdieupon shows us that's supposed to be an example of Professor Dawkins lying is that Professor Dawkins says he thinks the whole case the other side is putting really comes down to an emotional case rather than a rational one. Again, this is simply another dishonest blunder on Birdieupons part. The reason why is that the title says Richard Dawkins lies about William Lane Craig. But that second speech excerpt was not about William Lane Craig alone, but towards the quote-unquote other side. So in neither of the two examples that Birdieupon provides do we see Professor Dawkins lying about William Lane Craig. Further, when a person says, "I think," it is very difficult to prove they are lying, since a person saying "I think" is not making a conclusive or categorical claim or statement, but rather giving their personal assessment or personal opinion, which they are, of course, entitled to. For example, if someone said they think Birdieupon is homosexual because of the way he sounds, you can't say they lied, because they are not saying he is homosexual conclusively, as in passing it off as a fact, but are saying it with the restriction or reservation that this is only what they think, not what they know. When Professor Dawkins says, "I think the whole case the other side is putting is an emotional case rather than a rational one," you can't say he lied, since he is not giving a conclusive statement that the other side only made emotional arguments or cases. He is giving his personal opinion or assessment that he thinks their case comes down to an emotional one. Professor Dawkins could have indeed heard and been very aware of all the claims Dr. Craig made about God being the best explanation for this and that, and he still may be of the opinion or personal assessment that the other side's case is really an emotional one rather than rational, because he did not say it as a fact, but with the reservation or restriction that this is what he thinks. Thus, upon closer analysis, it turns out it was Birdieupon that was dishonest, and it can be argued that he was the one that lied, not Professor Dawkins.
William Lane Craig seemed to think that it would be so intolerable, so disagreeable, that we are doomed to death, that the universe is doomed to death. Somehow playing on the heartstrings, playing on the emotions. It's not nice to think that we're all going to die. It's not nice to think that the universe is going to die a heat death and that everything is going to come to an end. It's not nice to think that everything is meaningless.
None of this proves that God exists.
And therefore, somehow that must prove that there is purpose in the universe, that there is some sort of top-down supervising God.
I'd be the first to say that none of this proves that God exists.